Hey everyone, welcome to my channel, Fierce and Feisty Bullseye. Today I'm actually going to show you the holster draw that I use when I shoot competitively. Alright, so when it comes to the holster draw, there are so many different methods that can be used, and everyone has their own preference. I specifically really like this draw just because I've had several national instructors show me how to do this, and everyone seems to be pretty consistent. And so this is the draw that I use when I'm competing, and so that's what we're going to be showing you today. As a heads up, before I get to showing you the draw, this gun is unloaded. I am currently in an action bay at an actual local range of mine, and this action bay is used for matches and has berms all the way around, so it is a safe place to shoot. Okay, so the first thing that you really think about when it comes to your holster draw is going to be the stability that you have with your grip prior to it popping out of the holster, right? Obviously, you also want to have the proper gear. That's definitely going to hold everything in place. If you want to know more about my gear that I use for shooting, definitely make sure to check out the related video to that. So one of the key things to proper holster work is going to be repetition. If you're like me, I'm a repetitive learner. That's just how I learn. That's how a lot of people definitely learn. And it's definitely something to keep in mind when you're really trying to practice that holster draw. You can do this at home. You can do it completely unloaded. You don't even have to be out of range to do this unless you actually want to experience the true draw to first shot. When it comes to the repetition side of things, ideally most positions, I should say, most positions in competitive shooting are going to be hands at sides, right? And so there's every once in a while you're going to have the hands up above the shoulders, or you might have hands on head, but in this case I'm just going to show you hands at sides. Hands at sides is your normal starting position, and typically what I will do is, depending on which direction I am facing, because it could change, right? It all depends on the position that is required at that stage, but typically what I'll do is I'm going to make sure that I'm facing my first target, if that's something that's allowed. Sometimes you're not going to be allowed to do that. You have to be facing uprange or anything like that, but what we're going to work on is really going to be starting with that position with your proper stance, right? And if you want more information on proper stance, there's definitely a video for that on my channel. But with proper stance, I'm going to make sure that I'm in it. And then what I will do is my hands will be relaxed, because usually once you're relaxed, that's when you're telling your range safety officer, hey, I'm ready to go. So then normally what I'll do is I'm going to be focusing on whatever my actual target is, right? So if my target is directly in front of me, that's what we're going to pretend today. So with my hands down at my sides, I'm going to practice the repetitive motion of coming up with my left and right hand at the same time. A lot of people, what they don't do is they will only come up with their holster hand, but they won't actually make sure that that support hand is coming up as well. So that is actually how I start my holster draw, is I will come up with my hand firmly on the base of my gun. My stomach is where my left hand is sitting. When I come up, it's going to be practicing this motion and making sure that I can get this down. One, it is helping me find my gun, because if your gun is not properly placed in your holster, you have problems, and we need to address that. So the second thing is my support hand. Because my support hand needs to make sure that it's meeting up with my strong hand when I'm coming out, it needs to be as close as possible. Now, I will say something that I was told from instructors is to come up to your chest. Well, I'm a woman. We have, it's weird to come up to your chest. So I come up to my stomach. However, you are more than welcome to come up to your chest if you'd like to. Totally you, whatever. So I am coming up and doing this repetition to assure that I can find my gun. And also, as you will notice, when I come up with this hand, I immediately have my finger where it should be coming out of the holster, which is not on the trigger, right? Okay, so now from the side, I am gripping. I know where my gun is. Next step is popping it out of the holster. So now when I pop out of the holster, I'm using my thumb on the inside of my holster to help me pop it out, okay? So now I'm popping and I'm coming straight up to where I know I can go straight back down. So if you are coming out at an angle and you can't come back down into your holster, you are pulling it wrong. So popping up, straight, straight. Now we're going to introduce the flare, I guess you could call it. So when I come up like this, rotate. I am rotating, knowing that I'm going to be extending out, up, rotate. So I call it the flare because you're kind of doing a chicken wing, right? So chicken wing flare. So now the left hand is going to be coming into play, okay? So the left hand, me being right-handed, my left hand is my support hand. Currently it's on my stomach, but now I'm going to be creating a chop. So I like to call this the ninja chop. An instructor who I absolutely adore, he likes to call it the Judy chop. We're going with ninja chop. So when I'm doing my ninja chop, I am coming down, popping out, rotating, and bringing this hand, support hand, into chop, right? So a couple of things. You can either stay out here and bring it in, or you can bring the gun closer to your chest and chop in. I personally will bring it closer to my chest. It just depends on how comfortable that is for you. So again, as I come in, I'm going to bring closer to my chest and chop. So you can see this chopping motion. And the reason that we chop is so that you can actually rotate your hand into the perfect grip afterwards. Chop. So you're creating that chop. And again, repetitive motions, right? You are being repetitive because you are getting this motion down and ingrained in your brain, because naturally we are repetitive learners, right? So now I'm going to also include the roll. So the roll out into full extension. Okay, so now we've got you hear a beep, draw out, chop, and roll. Okay? Chop and roll. So now the next step is going to be prepping the trigger. You are prepping the trigger because your target is in front of you. You know where you're actually going to shoot. And so you're prepping that trigger until you reach the wall. The only downside here is that if you have a very short trigger, I probably would be very careful with the prepping piece. Me personally, I have a medium trigger, and so I do actually have that allowance to prep. So again, my gun is unloaded, nothing will happen, there's no magazine in it. So out and prep. Show you again, up, chop, prep, and go. So the other thing that we don't want to do is the rainbowing, and that's actually even something that I've always struggled with too, is coming out from that compressed ready into the straight position. And so you really want to make sure that you're not rainbowing the gun. And rainbowing the gun basically means that you're coming up and like that. So you're finding your dot that way. But let me tell you, you can't find your dot very easily when you're rainbowing like that. So you want to try as hard as you can. And again, this is something that's difficult for a lot of people. You want to try as hard as you can to come straight out from that compressed ready position. Yeah, so you're doing as best as you can to not rainbow. So now what I'm going to show you guys is the holster draw from start to finish with actually loading some rounds in the gun. Thank you so much for joining me today. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and follow me on social media. I hope you have a fierce and feisty day. Today we're going to talk about the holster draw for competitive shooting. Hey everyone. It's getting so cold, so I'm freezing. Today I'm actually going to show you guys my competitive shooting draw and everything that goes into it because I'm stupid. Today I'm actually going to show you my... Why can I not get this? Why? So when it comes to the holster draw, the key is repetition. It's really kind of... A squirrel just ran by. Oh, dude, you don't want to be out here right now. Just saying. All right. So when I come up, I do... Oh, that was fumbly.